So, this is going to be a contentious one, and I love it. Bring me those comments. Something has vanished from AEW TV recently, and I totally get it. It's just a little trinket which probably takes a lot of man hours, and sometimes it's like, is the upside even worth the amount of effort we're putting into it? The answer is probably no. However, I am that guy, and I think that All Elite Wrestling should bring it back. Why? Here's why. So actually, of course, the first question we need to answer is what, because you have no idea what I'm talking about, although I bet you have figured it out, probably from the thumbnail or something. I want AEW to bring back that damn ranking system. Reddit just went crazy. I tell you, the big reason it gets me so damn excited in my tum-tum is because it's just something different. Like, if you were going to give me 62 hours, 798 hours of professional wrestling in a week, anything that feels new and fresh makes me do the dance of joy. And also, it's sports-based. And do you know what I do when I'm not watching sports entertainment? I get rid of the entertainment and I watch sports. It's also a tool that can just justify any match. Because you're like, oh man, why is he coming out to have this challenge? Oh, look at that little figure down there. He's 10-0. I completely get it. So let's just focus on that little point to begin with, because yes, I agree with you. Storylines and narratives and characterization, that is the nutty butty when it comes to pro wrestling. But once more, if you have so much content and you only have 4 pay-per-views a year and a few more here and there, which are bespoke depending on the annual period, I think you want as much power in your pocket, and this is some powerful pocket stuff. As much like they once did, you could have a wrestler go on a tear on AEW Dark, although not anymore, but let's just change it around given what the future does hold. They can go on a tear on AEW Rampage, maybe they even pick up some wins of Ring of Honor, we all know the deal. When they get to Dynamite and they just storm out, they're going, hey, everyone needs to listen to me. Again, look at this rack of victories. And you can even say, I've been undefeated for 2 months, so give me some love. Then somebody can come out and give them a hug and a kiss. And that would be enjoyable. Why not? For example, recently there were some raised eyebrows because it was Bandido taking on Orange Cassidy for his international title, because Bandido had lost to Chris Jericho and Bandido had lost to Bryan Danielson. And yeah, sure, you're right, it wasn't doing very well. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, it never really bothers me because I've got to that point in my life, I'm an old man, where if you give me a great match and I enjoy said match, that's all I need. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate it if you give me more, but ultimately, I could be dead tomorrow, so thanks very much. But of course, you could have had the Masked Man win 4 matches on the bounce and then challenge the piece of fruit, and all of a sudden the International Championship does feel a little bit more legit. It's also a justification for those super nerds, and I respect and appreciate you because I am a super nerd. And again, this is how sports work, and I looked into the details. Turns out, a lot of people really like sports. It also taps into something with wrestling that we really don't get to enjoy that much. Statistics. Now I know that sounds really boring, but if you're into football or soccer or the NBA, I know what you love doing because I love doing it too. As soon as any argument come up, you go, yeah, but when it comes to LeBron, he got 422 and 4 points, and the person you're talking about only got half. And then all of a sudden, soccer comes up and it's like Ronaldo's better than Messi, and Messi is better than Ronaldo, and you just start flinging assists and goals all around the place. And while it usually ends in a fight, before we get to the aggressive part, I tell you, that's some good debating. And AEW could easily tap into this as they did when they first begun. For example, all of a sudden Kenny Omega could be on an 11-match streak, and then he starts hanging out and looking at Maxwell Jacob Friedman, so we go, oh, well, obviously, he's going to go after the World Championship. Also, I think we're about to get the Cleaner versus Friedman feud. Finally. You could also completely suspend your disbelief and be like, oh man, that Willow Nightingale, she's kind of struggling to get wins at the moment. I hope she can turn it around. I mean, once again, if we go to the Premier League over here in the UK, it's not just about who's at the top of the mountain, it's who's struggling at the bottom. So we should just embrace the geekiness of it because the geeky things in life are the best. And once again, I do understand. Who the hell is tracking all of this stuff, especially when it comes to AEW, because they have a lot of matches. The thing is though, I know there's a bunch of smart people there, and even if they do sit under the radar for 99% of the time, you've always got them ready to go. And never forget to always pack a snack when you go on a long journey. And this is what I see as the equivalent of a snack. I mean, why go into battle when you've only got a sword, when you could have a knife, you could have a shield, or you could have some kind of baguette? And I only throw that in there because if you saw the WWE House show from Paris the other day, Well, you know, goofy wrestling for life. You can also really peek these when we get to specials like Battle of the Belts, because yes, once again, sometimes we're getting versus matches on there, and I don't even know where this comes from, and I watch every single minute of the content. If you want to keep it really nice and simple, this one's going to blow your brain. You're not going to be able to understand this. I liked it. That's right, I liked it. I enjoyed seeing the numbers go up, and I enjoyed seeing the numbers, well, not go down, but just shift around a little bit. That's just how my brain works. If you want to dive into the super angry territory that the internet always wants to, do you know what else it does? It separates it from WWE. Never forget how important that is, because when TNA was flipping and flying, even then people would go, oh, it just feels like WWE light, and that absolutely did held it back. Now, I don't think AEW has ever done that, apart from the fact that some wrestling is always going to be wrestling, but if you do have these little extra things that you were jabbing in there, well, it just means if a brand new fan does sit down and go, oh, well, that's different, I didn't see it coming. I mean, they have done a terrific job in producing their own wrestling brand, so yeah, just continue to feed the monster. It is also super realistic, because if professional wrestling was on the up and up, there would be somebody watching this, and in fact, we'd probably have some kind of wrestling league. Because I'm just going to stand here. Think of your sport of choice. It can be any sport of the world. Oh, that's right. Does it have some kind of league? Yes, it does. And do you know what that is based on as well? Statistics. That's right. Victories, defeats, goals scored, goals conceded, miles run, tackles made, tackles that happen to you. So if you do want to extend this to wrestling, do you know what you can do? Wins, losses, pinfalls, submissions, countouts, disqualification. I'm gonna stop there because I go on all day and I'll bore everybody. I mean, I do that right now. So I'm not really sure what some fans have against it, but look, more power to you. You have to follow your own tum-tum feelings. But once again, if you want to do Wardlow versus Darius Martin for the TNT title, but you don't always want to go back to the open challenge, have Darius win a bunch of matches and just go, well, I've decided I want to go after this championship. Good for you, Darius. You ain't going to win, but I'd love to see you in the spot. But at the moment, we don't even know how AEW feels about this from a backstage point of view. I don't think they've commented on it. And maybe one of the reasons it went away is because it was a Cody Rhodes concept. And obviously, the American Nightmare is now back in WWE. I mean, he did seem very vocal about it at the start. So yeah, if he is going to leave and nobody else is that passionate about it, it would die. That's an analogy for life. Hopefully somewhere though the conversation is still on the table and they actually decide to bring it back, even if it is just for an idiot like me. I mean, it can be like a nice present that I enjoy and everybody else hates. I'm not sure who that serves. It probably means people are going to turn up my house and yell at me. My parents do that anyway. You may as well join the queue. Maybe I'll start charging and I can earn a pretty penny. So really much like Bling 182, it does come down to all the small things. And I put it out there now, and I'm going to hope this does manifest itself into existence. If it doesn't, does it really matter? No, it's professional wrestling, the most important of the non-important things. Now, here is the big question. You would have been doing this already. Please let me know in the comments below. Do you want the rankings back? Do you not rank them back? Or do you not care? I think a lot of people are going to say this one, but that's okay. You can also click one of the videos on the screen right now to continue to watch What Culture Wrestling content. I promise all of you, it is very, very good. Like the video, share the video, and subscribe. What Culture WWE, Simon316 on Instagram, Twitter, and all of those things. Otherwise, I just think you should have a good day. WhatCulture.com, you can go to the website. That will improve your 24-hour period, or just stand there like this for as long as you can. You may break a Guinness World Record. Have you seen the news stories about Guinness World Records? It's always weird things like, oh, I stood like a scarecrow for 3 days. I would call that a waste of life, but what do I know? How did we get here? I don't know. Goodbye.